This is Andy Perrault for Boxing Social, and I'm delighted to be joined by David Higgins, the manager of Joseph Parker now. David, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
It's good to hear. Obviously, we're just about to announce that Joseph Parker signed a promotional deal with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Sport. Just talking about how this venture came about.
Well, look, my 6-year contract with Joseph Parker ended on March 26. He became a free agent. He's a good friend of mine, work aside, and everyone knows there's a lot of money flowing around the box, and you've got DAZN, you've got ESPN, Al Heyman, right? So I want the best for Joseph Parker, and so he knows, we all know, that he should probably align with one of the big promoters, and I supported that, and so I helped him run a process, and Joseph ended up appointing Eddie Hearn and Matchroom as his promoter, and I think that was the right decision. I mean, we've done massive business with Matchroom on revenue share. We've never had any disagreements. I trust them, I like their vision, and so Joseph decided to appoint Eddie. I support that, and he's hiring me as manager or part of the management team, which is fine by me. So in effect, Eddie and I are kind of business partners, but we'll also end up head to head. So you got Eddie making the fights and me making the deal for Joe. So it's all good fun.
That's what I was going to say. Now, what was it like between yourself and Eddie trying to come to some sort of an agreement involving Joe?
Listen, jokes aside, I think Eddie's a class act and is great for boxing. And I don't think he's in it for the money. I mean, he doesn't need the money. So he's genuinely, I think, going to revolutionise the sport. So we're proud to be aligned to the Matchroom stable, and I look forward to sparring with Eddie, making in a management capacity, making these deals for Joseph Parker.
When Joe first came to you and he floated the idea by you, what was your initial reaction? Was you a bit surprised by it, or was it something that you just agreed with straight away?
No, I mean, we're realistic. We've been talking about it for years. Joe's realistic, so am I. There's no drama. It's business as usual.
So talking about the plan, what have you spoken with Joe and Eddie about?
Well, it's an initial 3-fight deal. Joe wants to pump them out as quick as possible. Joe wants to fight June, October, December. Now, Matchroom might want to drag it over a year, whatever, but it's going to be quick fire. Like Joe's keen on another tilt at the world title, a rematch against Anthony Joshua. He's got to earn it. So we're going to pump out fight after fight quick as possible and try and make our way back as quick as possible.
Where do you see Joe's career line? Do you see him fighting over in the States or trying to grow his UK fan base as well?
You need to ask his promoter those sort of questions. I just make the deals.
You're all about the money?
No, about not just money, what's right, fair and proper. But he's probably going to be in the States, I think, because DAZN have a big play, a lot invested in the USA. And to be fair, Joseph's a household name in the UK already. And the holy grail in boxing is to become a household name in the UK and the USA, transatlantic. That's when you get hundreds of millions flow. So it makes sense for Joe to fight in the United States and become a name here, and I think that's what Eddie has in mind.
Rumours circulating over social media initially that Eric Molina will be his first fight. Is that the truth?
Yeah, there's some truth to that, but it's sitting with Don King, and if we'll call their bluff. If they don't step up, we'll call their bluff and change out the opponent tomorrow. But yeah, Molina wants to fight, Joseph wants to fight, and my understanding is sitting with Molina's promoter. And if you know, we're running out of patience, so we'll just change opponent tomorrow if we have to.
Talks about that route back to world level. Then, what types of fights do you see lining up for Joe to get back to that position?
Well, Molina, and then maybe a step up, then a step up. So solid fights. There's no point fighting Muppets. So it'll be solid fights, build up in the US, and then earn a crack back against Joshua. Is the plan.
You just mentioned Joshua. Obviously, he's fighting Andy Ruiz Jr. on Saturday night. Somebody who Joe's been in with before. What would be your words? I don't know if advice is the right term to use, but what would you say to anybody watching who might underestimate Andy Ruiz?
I would say, do not judge the book by the cover. So a lot of people look at Andy Ruiz and they see a tubby, shorter dude that doesn't really look the part, and they would make the mistake of thinking, just it's easy. Ruiz is tough as nails. He's got a granite chin, tough, very fast hands, and he doesn't give a F word, really. So don't underestimate Andy Ruiz. And Joshua, I think Joshua's the favourite, but make a mistake, you might have an upset. Ruiz is tough as nails. I was surprised Eddie opted for Ruiz.
I mean, out of the possible opponents, obviously Ortiz was offered the fight and he turned it down. Kaunaki was rumoured. Who do you think was the best possible replacement for Anthony Joshua?
Ortiz didn't turn it down. He would have taken the fight. He just wasn't offered enough money. There's a difference. Ortiz would fight Joshua in the street, but his management felt that the offer wasn't financially enough. So whereas Ruiz jumped. So I would not underestimate Andy Ruiz.
So talk about the fight then. How do you expect it to play out on Saturday night?
I have no idea. I'm good at promotion and the commercial side, but I'm not an expert on boxing.
And I just wanted to get your thoughts as well on Deontay Wilder announcing that he's going to fight Luis Ortiz in a rematch. Is that something that surprised you when it was announced?
Yeah, takes a bit of courage because that, on his day Ortiz might win, might knock Wilder out. So credit to Wilder for taking the tough fights, unlike Anthony Joshua.
And that also leaves everybody in a bit of an unknown situation in regards to that undisputed fight between Wilder and AJ. When do you think we could see that fight, if it is to happen?
The fight will definitely happen. It's ruminating, it's brewing, and it's a cash pile. So long as neither of them lose, it'll happen within 18 months, I reckon. But if one of them loses, off. I think Joshua versus Fury at Wembley would be at least as big, if not bigger, than Wilder. I mean, Fury's the linear champion. Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you.